This morning, I had a long Uber drive. I just, I'm ongoing pain in my back, shall we say? So I had to go out and see a doctor. And the Uber driver, the guy who was driving with Uber, who took me out to the doctor's office, he asked me what I thought about the election, and I offered a few platitudes. I try not to get into long political conversations. I do that for a living. I don't, my spare time, at least until I know somebody's politics. And so I said, what do you think? And he said, well, I lived in Italy for a couple of decades. And he said, when Silvio Berlusconi, the billionaire who turned Italy into the laughingstock of the world, or at least of Europe, he said, when Silvio Berlusconi first ran for prime minister, he ran on a platform of make Italy great again. Now, I can't verify any of this. I did a couple of quick Google searches, and I'm not finding stuff. But maybe, maybe some of the folks in our chat room, or maybe you, if you know, you can call in and let me know. I mean, it's just, this was just a fascinating conversation. And if the parallels are there, I'd love to know it. He said Berlusconi, basically his sales pitch to the Italian people was, I started out as a lounge singer, which is true, and I ended up as a billionaire. Now, what he left out was in the middle there, he got all mobbed up, with the mafia and the lounges and whatnot. But in any case, and he said, and I'll make you rich too, and I'll make the country rich. I'm a rich guy. I know how to make people rich. And everybody was like, oh, we're going to be as rich as Berlusconi. Let's elect this guy. He stands up for the average working person, right? This billionaire. And that's not how it worked. And then the driver, another story he told me was, he said, when Berlusconi became prime minister, it was during the time when Italy, and again, I can't fact check this, so love to hear from you. Or I haven't fact-checked this, but and an awful lot of this kind of stuff, data details going back into the 80s and 90s, very difficult to find on the internet these days, because basically anything that happened before 1980 doesn't exist, except as a story told by somebody who has an agenda to tell that story. But in any case, he said that when they converted the Italian lira into the euro, that there was a conversion ratio. And my recollection is it was 2,000 to 1, whatever it was. There was a conversion ratio. You turn in 2,000 lira, you get €1. And he said that applied to everything except real estate. And he said on real estate, the conversion was different, the value of real estate. And he said that, again, worked to the benefit of Berlusconi, because by that point in time, much of Berlusconi's fortune was in real estate. He was a real estate billionaire, much like Donald Trump is, in addition to having been a media billionaire, which is really how he kind of started out. And he said, I'm watching Donald Trump. He said Berlusconi talked the same way. He was this tough guy. He had all these women going through through his life. He was implicated with underage girls. He was, this, that, and the other thing. I mean, he's like, I am watching deja vu. And I was like, whoa, this is interesting.